What's up, guys, and welcome back once again to the Dunatic YouTube channel. As you can see from the Artec installation background, we are back at my shop out here in Mesa, Arizona. I have not gotten a chance to do the walls yet or figure out what I'm going to do with the walls just yet. So you're going to see all this insulation. I've still got a center section to do up there in the middle too, which also still keeps it extremely friggin' hot out here. But as you guys can see, I've got Che Bella up on the lift. Totally stoked with this car. For what it is, this car is friggin' moving. We went our first 9-second pass ever in Che Bella, and I know my homie Che was riding along with me during that pass. Makes me feel real good in my heart. So that one was for you, buddy. What we need to do is get onto the suspension on this car. Our 60 foots are down, and I'm trying to figure out why. And I started getting underneath here and checking out all the bushings. Check that out, guys. We're 60 foot in a 150 or 152 with that. This car normally 60s like a 143, 140-ish. All these bushings are just trashed. I don't know if you guys remember this from some of my previous episodes, but this is a DIY all-wheel drive kit. These are factory Integra 5-lug rear trailing arms. They've been cut out here and then plates welded in here. I did it all myself. And it's a hodgepodge of stuff. This is like I forget what rear caliper that is. It's not even Integra. I think it's Honda Insight, and this is a different rotor. But we made it work. I didn't want to spend all the money buying that, that full-on kit. But now that I'm looking more into it, I probably should invest in some sort of a kit. So we might be hitting the boys up over at FCS Race. I do run their rear plate. And maybe getting a set of their trailing arms. That would be cool if they could hook me up. We've also got some issues with tire spin. The front's spinning hard and the back, not so much. So I think it's time to change the fluid out in this viscous coupler. This is a stock Freelander viscous with, God knows how many hundreds of thousands of miles on it. It's done well up until now, but the thicker the fluid we put in this, the more power will be transferred to the rear tires, which will help with our front tire spin and definitely help with the 60-foot times. Other than that, guys, the motor on point. Everything held up. I've got a little oil leak up in here that I've got to figure out. As you guys saw in the last video, they did recover my truck. It is still out there at PFI Speed. So I've got to go back out there this week to Colorado, prep my truck, put some tires on it, and get it running properly so I can drive it home back here to Arizona. And it's looking like we're gonna have to pull the cylinder head back off. I got a little bit of an oil leak down there, and then I pulled the log from my last pass, and I saw 30 pounds of coolant pressure, which is not good. And it was filling up the overflow. All this mess is from me pulling the cap off, but we did think it was possibly the cap, but I've got a coolant pressure sensor right here tied into my fuel tech, and it said it saw 30 PSI. So that is not good. We're gonna go ahead and pull this head off. All right, well, we got the head off. It doesn't look like there was water intrusion anywhere. All that black stuff you guys see is it's kind of like this glue material that's on a factory head gasket. Once it heats up, it kind of sticks to it. But I don't see anywhere water was coming out from the jackets and getting into the cylinders. I'm gonna check the block. There's a little scratch right there, but I think I did that when I was taking it off. But needless to say, we're gonna take this in and have it surfaced, get it all cleaned up so we can get it back on. So we're back up here on the block. And again, this is a little water droplet from me, pulling the head off, but I don't see any issues in here, guys. Nowhere where water was intruding into the cylinders. I don't know where that coolant pressure could have been coming from. But better to be safe than sorry, that's for sure. I'm gonna go back and look at the log again and see if the coolant pressure spiked or steadied or what exactly it was doing. And we'll go from there. But like I said, guys, better to be safe than sorry. So I'm gonna show you what I was talking about here. So it's gonna be log 6 was my 990 pass. Nope. Log 5, which I already deleted. Oops, sorry guys. So we'll go to log 2. That was my second pass. So as you guys can see, the green line represents RPM, brown TPS, etc., etc. we're going to go down here, and this, we're going to select coolant pressure is the purple line. But if you can see, right, so if I just click here, this is first gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear. Let's just look at third gear at 9,000 RPMs, 24 pounds of boost. I was at, everything else looks great. I mean, duty cycle, 54% duty cycle is great. 172 degrees, air temperature was 111. Oil pressure was 113, which is great. Fuel flow is good. Fuel pressure was at just under 70 pounds. Battery voltage, but when we get down to that one right there, coolant pressure, 27.91 pounds of coolant pressure. So we were having some boost issues on the dyno, and we couldn't figure out where the power was going. That's probably where the power was going. We're blowing boost into the radiator, which is not good. Okay, guys, so here comes the part where I talk about huge mistakes. So unfortunately, Tom doesn't live close, and Tom is kind of my go-to engine guy right now. I mean, I know a lot about Hondas. I can put them together. But Tom is very intricate. And I was FaceTiming with him last night, and he just saw a quick little shot, a quick little look at the bottoms of my pistons right here. And he said, hey, man, stop what you're doing. Your pistons are hitting the head. And upon further inspection, look at that. My pistons are smashing into the head. That's not very good. But anyhow, I'm trying to figure out what was wrong and going back and forth. Now, as you guys can tell, that's a B18 C1. This is a GSR motor, USDM GSR motor. And I bought it as such. It was supposed to be a full GSR. Turns out that this motor has an LS crank in it. I did not know that when I bought it. I was totally unaware of it. Let's TDC it number 1 here. And I'll show you guys what's happening. So if you remember from the last video, I put my Manley Turbo Tough rods in this motor. Took the rods that were in it were out, on the notion that this was a full GSR with a GSR crank. Turns out that this is a GSR block with an LS crank and LS rods in it. As you can see from right there, pistons sticking up higher than the deck. Something I overlooked when I was at PFI doing the work. Again, I was working on this motor on the premise that it was a full GSR. So, went and grabbed the rods that I took out of it. Walk over here for a second, guys, and move some stuff and show you. So this is one of the rods I took out. Eagle Specialty Products. We're going to flip that over. CRS 5394. Well, 5.394 is the rod length of an LS, and that's how they base their part numbers. I never even looked at that, thinking that I was just doing a like-for-like swap. And this car ran a 9-second pass and made over 600 horsepower with the pistons hitting the frickin' head. It's insane. And this explains a lot. This explains why Jamie had to take a bunch of fuel out of this thing, and just a bunch of stuff changed on the dyno, and all I really did was change the rods and put a new head gasket in it. So Tom's going to find me a GSR crank hopefully today. If he does not, I went ahead and ordered bearings for my old rods. We're going to put my old rods back in here and put this thing back to the way it was. Gosh, guys, if any of you guys can learn anything from me, never trust what anybody says when they're selling you something. This is the motor I bought off of Facebook Marketplace, and I bought it like a week prior to race week last year when my old motor took a crap and I had to do something quick. And I bought it. It was sleeved, rods, pistons, had everything I needed. It was cheap, well, relatively cheap anyways, and I needed it last second. I didn't have time to re-sleeve and rebuild a whole nother motor. And there's nothing wrong with putting LS crank and rods in a GSR block. It actually gives you a little bit more stroke, but you just have to know what you're dealing with. And now I know. I'm really lucky that this thing just didn't completely smash and destroy everything. I got real lucky. So that was why the head gasket wasn't sealing. That's why we were having boost leak issues and all those coolant pressure issues, is because the head wouldn't go all the way down because it's smashing the piston. The hip pistons are just smashing the head, creating the gap, and then that's where all my coolant pressure is coming from. So like I said last night, I'm dropping this off at the machine shop either today or tomorrow. We're going to get it surfaced. I'm going to stone the deck, and then I'm either going to pull the whole motor out and swap out the crank, or we're going to just put my old rods back in. More than likely, I'm probably just going to put my old rods back in. Tom's going to find me a crank today. He's going to try to. He's down in California today, Southern California, with some of our old friends. So somebody might have a GSR crank laying around for me. If they do, then I would much rather leave these rods that are in here. These are the Manley Turbo Toughs, and they'll handle about 1,200 horsepower. These Eagle H-beams, they say they're rated to 900, but I've seen them break at like 600. So I don't know. I mean, these are the newer style. They've got that, you know, double webbing in there or whatever they called it. But I'm really leery about using these things at anything over about 600 wheel. And we were making almost 700 wheel. Well, guys, as you can see, we're not in the shop. We're actually headed out to PFI to go pick up 6.0 No, and my luck just keeps getting better. So I rented a car, I'm gonna drive one way, and I can't make this stuff up, guys. Flat tire right here on the freeway. Luckily it was close, I just pulled in. So now I've got to put the spare on this. I called the rental car company, get this thing over to a discount tire, and get this thing fixed. Boy, if it wasn't for bad luck, I'd have no luck, boys. Okay, guys, so we're back at PFI. We're going to get a better look at what they did to old 6.0 No here. As I showed you guys before, painted the taillights. I don't know. I don't know why the hell they did all this shit in the bed. We're going to go through that later. Those boxes up there I put in there, those are my new taillights and headlights. Again, I showed you guys this tire. I mean, look at that. They boiled the shiz-nizzle out of these tires. So we're going to look into that. Obviously going to have to put some tires on this thing to get it home. But just, they painted the roof. The roof was in rough shape already, but they scraped all my stickers off. You know, there's a lot of stuff in here that I just don't understand. What kind of tweaker nonsense is going on in the bed of this truck? I have no clue. So walk around to the front. The front tires seem okay. The front headlights, again, painted black. I don't get that at all. They're looking for a cool look. They painted the front bumper, like the lower plastic valance. I don't get that either. They did not steal my rigid lights though. Dummies, those things are worth money. So they painted over and then realized they made a mistake. We're gonna jump inside and assess some more damage inside. Yeah, they took everything. My Glamis stickers, all my stickers gone from the PFI event. They definitely didn't want this thing recognizable. So we're gonna run in the shop and grab the keys, get this thing unlocked. And not that we would need the keys to unlock it, but take a look inside, look in a little further. God, these idiots. Just painted right on the doors too. I don't know. So we're gonna go through it a little more. Something else I noticed that they took off the truck is this had a steel frame on top of it all the way around, because it used to have a big toolbox in here. It also helps when you put shells on these things. There's a steel frame that goes on. They unbolted that and took it. The old key fob unlocked her. Let's jump in and have a closer look. I know I showed you guys a little bit when I was out here before, but not very much. Sorry about that. My keys, guys. Now my truck was dirty, mind you. You know, this is kind of a work truck slash tow pig, but my seats were not that dirty. So whoever was in my truck was a dirty MFer, man. I actually hope you guys remembered my YouTube stickers on the back, and I hope you're watching right now, because you guys are real pieces of work. That, I don't know what the frick that is. Bunch of new car scent stuff everywhere. I guess they didn't like the way my truck smelled. And then because they're so janky and they can't get stereo equipment out without breaking stuff. So I had a speaker box back here with 2 12s in it, and it was big enough to where it wouldn't come out, you know, without removing the back seat. But instead of removing the back seat, they broke that side to just rip it out. And then, guys, I don't understand the window tint either. So my windows were tinted. My roll-ups are really dark, but they tinted the back window. They took the time to put tint over the tint in my truck. And then if we come around to the front, they did that too. That's not me. They took the time to cut it around the mirror. I mean, what? I don't understand. I really don't. They obviously had my whole dash apart because they took the screws out of my head unit. What the? Oh, that's from my backup camera. But yeah, guys, they clipped everything out of here. They unscrewed the radio. They took their time. That was a Stinger audio head unit that I got from my buddy Kevin, who works for Stinger. I'm going to have to maybe lean on him for a new head unit. Sorry about that, Kevin, but my truck got stolen. So like I showed you, this tire is flat. And then look at this side. Door handles look okay over here. Just beat. It's weird because they gutted my truck, right? They took everything out of it, my tire deflator, all the stuff I had in my glove box. They just took everything, right? But then in my center console, chiclets. I don't eat chiclets, boys. Oh, they left a GoPro battery. That's cool. They left my test light. But I just don't... 2 GoPro batteries. Sweet. And then this tape measure, which is not mine. They left in there. I really just don't get it, guys. But it's hard to understand tweakers or thieves or whatever. Yeah, they left my pills. That was nice of them. But they took my freaking glasses, and I'm really, really bummed about my glasses. I just got those. They were brand new. What was this for? Oh, that's for my jump box, which they probably stole as well. I got the DC charger for the jump box, dummies. And then this was one of my USB cords for HDMI that ran out from the back of the radio. So, that's pretty much an overview of what happened, what's going on with this thing. This back door lock, there's something definitely wrong with it. I'm going to have to look into that. But yeah, guys, disappointing. But at the same time, at least we got her back. Now we're going to probably roll the dumpster over here, start going through all this crap in the bed. I'm going to open the tailgate up and start pulling these taillights out. I need to get Jamie on the horn and get that power steering line ordered for me too, so we can get that over here and get it installed today. So that's where we're at, guys, with 6.00. We're going to recover her and get her roadworthy and be able to drive her back home. Here's the other thing that makes me firmly believe that these guys owned a 6.0. They took my degas bottle out, my billet aluminum one, and they put a stock one back in it for me. Clipped off my inline fuse, unbolted it, and took it. So I think they gutted this truck and then they went and joyrode it. They didn't want to steal my intake, though. What's the matter, boys? You afraid of an intake? Did not take my coolant filter setup, which is good, which means they probably had one. Or oil all over the motor because they broke that power steering line. We're going to get that fixed today as well. Got these old taillights out. Got the new ones in. Give you an idea how much they painted them black for, idiots. But new taillights are in. Looks like they tapped something on this side pretty hard. Makes the taillight hard to get in. I'll fix that when I get home and get it better. Yeah, it looks like they were actually trying to peel the 4x4 stickers off the side too. Friggin' idiots. But anyways, guys, we're moving forward. Get this thing cleaned out and get it ready to go. You're not going to believe this. So we found a dash cam in the bed of my truck. Sorry about the middle finger. And in that dash camera is video footage of whoever put that camera in the bed of my truck breaking into a big rig and stealing this antenna and stuff off of it. So we're going to make him famous. We got a picture of his face, and more than likely he's the one that was either in my truck or stole my truck. We are dropping that off over here at the Firestone Police Department. The detective wants it really bad. All right, well, we got the camera and the SD card and stuff dropped off over at the Firestone Police Department. I talked to the detective. They actually have a system in place here in Colorado that they'll take a screenshot of his face and it sends it out to every police department in the state. And so if they know this guy or have seen him, you know, they'll investigate a little more. And, you know, I understand, I get it, right? It's a stolen pickup truck. It's not that high on the priority list of the police department. They're busy with other things and more serious crimes, and I understand it, but their hands are tied without leads, and they've now got a lead, somewhat of a lead to follow up on. So if something comes of it, so be it. If nothing comes of it, at worst case scenario, me and my friends, we're gonna make this guy famous. We're gonna make you famous, dude. Hopefully you're watching my channel. So you're gonna become internet famous real quick. Bro. All right, well, we're driving 6.0 now. And by me putting my foot in it, they definitely returned the truck back to stock. So the program's not on it anymore, which is good. Cruise control still works. So I do have a water and fuel light, but I think the sensor's broken. They took it wheeling and beat it up on it. It sounds with no muffler on it, but makes it real stinky. Transmission still shifts good. Motor still runs solid and strong. Where the thieves really messed up is they should have stolen the entire motor. This is a fully built 6-liter that's studded and bulletproof. Cost over $16,000 to build. Programmer's definitely off. This truck was way faster with the programmer on, but that's fine. That way there's nothing married to this ECU. So 6.0 is not coming home with us, guys. I'm gonna pick up a 6.7. My time with this truck is gone. You know, after it got stolen, I just can't with this thing anymore. I just don't have the time, the patience. It's a great truck. It's a good motor. This thing will run forever. I just don't have the time or the patience to deal with it anymore. I'm gonna fix this power steering line. I'm gonna go get the tires all dialed in, and then she's gonna stay here at PFI for a while till we figure out what we're gonna do. But I'm over this thing, you know. I'm just literally broken, and I'm just done with it. All the soul that I had in this truck is just, those guys just took it from me, and I'll never get it back. So time to move on to a different truck. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get it running still, finish up our weekend out here at PFI, and get the truck road ready and worthy, and then we're gonna go ahead and head home. So that's gonna do it for now, guys. Thank you guys so much for following me along this horrible, exciting, up and down adventure with 6.0 No. It's always something, you know. Hopefully they catch the dirt bag on the video. Gonna make you famous, bro.
Polo's like check that out. On top or in it.
But anyhow, say goodbye to 6.0 No. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you give us a like and a subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next video.